Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place. And today's Third Sunday Politics Talk. We come on, we talk about politics, what's going on in politics. And, there's a lot going on in Florida, and we want to get into that. A quick show today, but we wanted to come in, get this rolling for 2023 with Politics Talks because we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot to look forward to 2024. But folks, this country's it's in a transition at best. At worst, we're in trouble. But we're going to talk about that in a moment, right after this opening.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard, and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even the basic type of technology, you learn it all.
And people are
Good question. Well, folks, we're back, and let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Brandon Upson. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Marilyn, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Look, it's a beautiful background. I know it's brick, but you're in Newberry. Are you in Newberry?
I'm in Newberry. Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Newberry's a beautiful little town. Good to see you, and thank you for coming in. Let's get right into it because there's a lot going on in Florida. And we wanted to come in 2023, get this started with Politics Talk because Florida's important because it's a swing state. Well, it used to be a swing state. Yeah. I don't know. With everything, gerrymandering, suppressing of the vote, now this attack on the education system by Florida Governor DeSantis, because let's not even pretend anymore. He has higher ambitions to be in the White House.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he is appealing to the lowest common denominator in the Republican Party and quite frankly across this nation. And that's through the attack. The most recent was the AP African American course. Now I'm reading today that they're looking at replacing the SAT and the ACT with a Christian-based test. This is white people are scared of the changing demographics of this country. That's the bottom line. They're scared that they're losing out. When others seek equity, they think they're being oppressed because they're not used to being held accountable. So I know you got some thoughts and everything about it, but this is why it's so important that we all just get knowledge and get engaged. But your thoughts, Brandon, about what's going on in this country, in the United States?
See, here's the thing. After Donald Trump got elected, he really put a fire under the idea that everything can be used as a political football, including the lives and well-being of people. Poor people, women, children, minorities, all of it can be used as a political football. And now it's a race to the bottom. How extreme can I go so that I can gin up support from those folks who have been quietly racist, quietly, discriminatory, quietly fearful of their position of influence, power, and priority in this country. And Ron DeSantis has done it. I remember the movie Lawless. And in the movie Lawless, there are two brothers who were moonshiners. And the people in the town were afraid of them because they had this reputation of being impenetrable, but also brutal. And the younger brother got beat up, and the older brother told him, the only reason people fear us is because we're willing to go further than anyone else. We're willing to be more brutal than anyone else can even imagine. And Ron DeSantis is showing us in what he's done in these attacks against our children's education, women's rights, the right to vote for returning citizens, that he is willing to go beyond what any of us ever expected. We're talking about him using a Christian-based indoctrination test, right? We're talking about him removing this AP Black History course, but we also have to remember that this is the same guy that sent the police out to serve warrants for arresting people who had voted in the last election and arrested them falsely. And no one was held accountable to locking up hundreds of people who went out, registered lawfully and legally, voted lawfully and legally. You know, I think there was one or two people that were actually held and charged. The rest of them were given an apology and let go. It was all a political football for him. He stripped parents and children away from each other to bus folks up north as another political ploy to show that he's willing to go further than even Donald Trump would even go. He is the worst example of a politician and frankly as a human being, because he has shown that he has no humanity and he cares about nothing but his own rise to political power.
That's right. And the other dangerous thing is, yes, he's showing right now how far he's willing to go. Imagine what he would do as president. And the difference between a DeSantis and a Trump is DeSantis is much smarter. He's smart version of Trump, you know, and everything is very calculated. And it speaks to his morality, lack of morality and lack of character. And and I was reading something and I actually responded to it. I can't remember if it was TikTok or Facebook, and someone was actually pumping up Trump that he was talented. They were equating talent with morals and character. And it's the same with DeSantis. He's an immoral person. He's effectively immoral. Right. You know, so we are at a moral moment in this country, and there cannot be too much urgency about us being engaged with this brand. And that's what concerns me, is so many of us are disconnected. And I think it may be a survival mode. We are, especially Black folks, we are under pressure all the time. And we come back and we ask our folks to, you know, come and vote, you know, get engaged. And we do this. We do it on this show. And we're going to do it by the end of this show, too. But I myself, you know, you gotta dig deep. Yeah. And in this digging deep, I think people are getting to the point where they're tired. They're tired. So it's either going to be you're tired and you're not going to show up, or you're going to be so sick and tired of being sick and tired, as the great Fannie Lou Hamer said, that you're going to find that inner strength to turn out and do what needs to be done. And I think that's where we are in this country's history.
You know, and you're hitting the nail on the head, but I believe that we need to even broaden this. This is a important crossroads in the morality of our world, because we see world leaders with the same mentality of a Trump and a DeSantis willing to, you know, wage war on the least of these, on the most vulnerable communities, on the essence of what grounds us as human beings here on Earth. They're willing to strip all of that away just so they can seek power. And when they see it being successful in the greatest, most powerful country on Earth, America, why can't it work for us here? You know, or we've been doing X, Y, and Z, but we should be able to do it. We're now justified, because look at what's happening in America. You know, what we've had coming out of our country since 2016 has not been, you know, a moral standard bearer for the world. Not even a good example of what democracy looks like. And if we keep going down this road, we're going to be at a crossroads of a true revolution, and it's one that our children should not have to bear or witness. I'm a little concerned about what the future looks like if we keep going down this path. And you got the exact definition. Yes.
And this is why I agree with you Brandon, and y'all, I want y'all to know, me and Brandon, we don't always agree, but there's a core. We got some core moral and character things that he and I and Jamarr always agree on. You know, we may not necessarily agree on how to get there, but we basically agree on stuff. And I wanted to show this definition, Brandon, because so many people talk about fascism, but I wonder how many people really look it up and understand what it truly means. And we are heading down that path. And I could dare say in Florida, we probably are there. Yeah. Because you got a supermajority Republican legislature that's basically handing DeSantis everything that he wants. Yeah. And so where's the control? Where's the control? And this is why it's so important that we do get registered to vote. We do vote. We do show up on the local, state, federal level. And with our political parties, get involved. If you want to see change, if it's just too much, you got to show up. And because that's what democracy is about. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Democracy is a rough and tumble sport. Absolutely. You know, and we got to fight against stuff like fascism. I mean, we just simply do.
We do. And here's the thing. These are the same people that say that they believe in capitalism. The heart and soul of capitalism is competition. So it's okay for us to have economic competition, but they want a monopoly in politics. Like, how does that work? You know, the saying goes, where there's competition in the economy, the buyers, the consumers win. But when there's a monopoly in politics, the politicians win and the people lose out. And we're seeing it all across the country where we have these supermajority Republican controlled houses and legislatures. Look at what's happening right here in South Carolina, bringing it back home. You know, they are running amok in the state house. They are literally working to undo a decision that was made by our Supreme Court based off of the foundation of freedom and freedom and privacy. And they're trying to undo that just so they can pass this politically charged legislation. And it is the worst thing that you can imagine.
It is. And it's about suppressing people. It's about oppressing people. You know, the peculiar institution of slavery didn't end. It just evolved and reinvents itself. Whether it's Jim Crow, you know, this is pushback from the civil rights movement. We've been building to this moment for the last 50 years, you know, and so I don't know if you can see this, Brandon, because you're on your phone, but how can we, this is Jamarr Brown, thank you very much. How can we as people / citizens become as one nation? Excellent question for this conversation. Brandon, any thoughts about that? How do we become one nation?
You know, I do a lot of work with young folks, I call them young revolutionaries, because they are bold, they're brave, they're courageous, they say what they believe and what's on their mind without any pretense or, you know, hesitation. And one thing that I've learned with working with them, you know, I'm still a millennial, I'm 37, but, you know, there's a big difference between me being 37 and them being 21 and 22, right? But what I've learned is when I listen to understand where they're coming from, and then I share what I believe and where I'm coming from in an effort to find common ground, then we start working together. And that's how I've been able to build these coalitions. What we have to do is understand that we don't have all the answers. We have to come into these circles, come to each other with an open mind and an open heart, ready to find common ground, because we have a common interest. And that's preservation, upward mobility, you know, the future of our children, the future of our country and our world. That's common ground. If we can land there, we can go anywhere. But if we nitpick one another because you're not saying it exactly the way I would say it or the way I think it should be said, we'll never, ever get there.
That's right. And just this week, people have been an encouragement to me. I've been an encouragement to others, and things that we agree on, things that we don't agree on. But I have this folks are just like, I'm just in despair. We're out here working on a local basis. We see what's going on in the nation. And one thing I've learned, and I tell people now also, is we are going to have some wins.
Yep.
We are going to leave a legacy, whatever that legacy you decided to be. But we're also going to have those losses. And you're not going to see the movement that you want to see. But the thing that helps me sleep well at night is to remember that we are planting seeds that we will never see the fruit of. And that gives me hope. That gives me, even when I lose something this week, we didn't see some things go our way in Georgetown where I'm at. And, we were having discussion. I said, we've got to remember the long game.
Yes.
And the long game is that we're planting seeds, even as we're doing the wins and the losses, we're planting seeds that we will never see the fruit of.
Absolutely.
And once you get that in your head and understand, I'm here for the long game, accept it, own it, that you're in it for the long game, you are more forgiving of yourself and you're more forgiving of others. You're more willing to sit down at the table to listen to folks. And you're right, Brandon. We all want to have better lives. We all want to leave something for our children or nieces and nephews. We all want to live, dare I say, the American dream, whatever that may look like from your point of view. And that's commonalities that we can sit at the table with each other in the long run and make these things happen. But when you have people fighting, well, you got to get engaged. When you got people out there doing everything they can to prevent all of us, and when I say all of us, black, white, low wealth, because they ain't just coming for black people.
No.
They coming for low wealth people. They coming for poor white people too.
Absolutely.
And we better hurry up and wake up and realize we got to fight this battle together. So go ahead.
No, I just agree with everything you said.
Zeb Brown is laying down some wisdom here. I don't know if you
really
can see
is.
it.
Yeah, I see it now.
Love starts from within home and spreads abroad. It does, Zeb. And let's take home really deeper than just home has the United States, but home has an individual.
Yeah.
We got to work on self. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, because if you wait till you 100% perfect, you'll never come to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to you got to come within yourself and recognize and own your journey, and then go fight for your own journey. You will be amazed how much more willing you are to bring other people to the table. When you love yourself, you come from a position of strength, and you're more willing to listen and engage with others. So Zeb, you right on. Go on, Zeb. All right. Home has in your mindset. That is right.
Absolutely.
That is right. Brandon, I know you out there. You doing some work. You doing your stuff. Brandon's always doing political stuff, y'all. He's always doing community advocate work. And I know you've got to go. And we want to come in here quickly and do our thing and really encourage folks. But what other words that you want to share with folks before we leave?
Like Zeb said, it starts at home. And we have to really tune in to what's going on our block, in our town, our city, and our county, and right here in South Carolina. And don't allow the news or the information to just be sold to us by a third and fourth layer contact. We have to seek that information ourselves as well, right? The more information we have, the more powerful we'll be. But we can't walk around like zombies and waiting for life to happen to us. Right now, where we are at the perfect place, the perfect time to activate our own power as a community and reshape the direction of our future as a whole. I know we talked about this before. South Carolina is now the first state for the Democratic presidential primary. That is a huge responsibility. It means that our communities have an opportunity to highlight our gifts and our opportunities, but also to bring light to those things that need to systemically change within our communities. It's our time to bring the light to us so that we can create the change that we want to see. Marilyn, I know this is not partisan, but that whole thing is why I decided to run to be the next chair of our state party, because I believe that now is the time to make this change happen. And if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? And this is time for us to do it. We have the power to get it done. And if we work together, we can change so much in our state and so much in our county.
Thank you, Brandon. I know. Hey, county, state, country. You know, we always talking on those levels. So very good. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Brandon, for saying that. You know, I support you. What you're doing, because you and I, Jamarr, who can't join us today, we're here because we're engaged people. We're here because we're advocates for our community, and that's why I'm supporting you and anybody who wants to get engaged, local, state, federal level. Man, let's get this done. It's too important.
Absolutely.
Too important. Brandon, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yo, you're always welcome. I'm see you next third Sunday on Talk, and I know we'll be talking before then.
Awesome. See you then.
All right. See you later.
Everybody.
Have a good one. Well, everyone, that is Politics Talks. I know it was quick and dirty. We came in here. Jamarr Brown, thank you for your feedback, comments, y'all. When we're here on third Sundays, we're talking. We'd love to hear from you. My new background, I don't want y'all to think this is my house. This is my vision board. Brandon knows that. Wow, you redid your house, Marilyn. I am working on it, though. I'm working on getting the house redone and everything. I'm in the family home. And that's one of the reasons I actually get engaged, because I came back home. Yeah. Hey, Lauren. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice meeting Brandon. Get in touch with him. Learn more from Brandon. He's a community advocate. He is really making things happen. And you are too, I'm sure, in your hometown. If you guys want to join us on Third Sunday Politics Talk, just let us know what's going on in your hometown, your county. Hey, we'd love to hear it, because that's why we're here. We are nonpartisan 98% of the time. And we just talk about what's going on out there, and really just trying to help our communities, help our state, and help our countries. Y'all, there's so much that needs to be done, but we want to be here and be encouraging. Zeb, thank you. It is an awesome platform. We really like hearing from our viewing audience and getting feedback. It's been great this evening. And yes, Lauren, Brunswick, my new hometown. Is this Brunswick, Georgia, Brunswick, North Carolina, Lauren? Because we are, obviously, you could catch us all over. We'll be in Brunswick, Georgia, the Gullah Geechee Chamber, with our Gullah Geechee Environmental and Energy Conference in October. If you're in Brunswick, Georgia, and we'd love for you to come on out and join us. All right, it is in Georgia. Yep, we'll be there in October with the Gullah Geechee Environmental and Energy Conference. Yep, we bring environmental knowledge, environmental resources, environmental education, energy, green, renewable energy education. And we will be there October 13th through the 14th in Brunswick, Georgia. Thank you for joining us, Laura. Looking forward to it. Zeb, thank you. Spirit-filled Ambassadors for Christ support you. Yes, I love Spirit-filled Ambassadors for Christ Church. You guys, very progressive. You got it going on, forward-thinking church. Pastor Rouse is a great community leader. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We enjoyed it. As always, every third Sunday, where Politics Talks with the Gathering Place. And the Gathering Place is every Wednesday and Sunday at 4:00. This Wednesday is our public health. Every fourth Wednesday, we talk about public health, what's going on in public health, whether it's pediatrics, COVID, health services. The theme of the month, we talk public health every fourth Wednesday. So come on back this Wednesday in February, and the 23rd, Wednesday to February 23rd at 4:00, and talk about public health. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, Jacksonville. We love you, Jacksonville, also. Thank you for joining us. Oh, well, thank you. We do our part, just like everyone in our audience. I'm sure you're doing your part in making all of our communities, the Black community, the Gullah Geechee community, and everyone, the broader American community, better. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day this Sunday. And we look forward to being with you every Wednesday and Sunday at 4:00 on A Gathering Place. Have a great... I'm trying to get to my stuff. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and good night.